Mr. Murdaugh, I sentence you to the State Department of Corrections on each of the murder indictments. In the murder of your wife, Maggie Murdaugh, I sentence you for a term of the rest of your natural life. For the murder of Paul Murdaugh, whom you probably loved so much, I sentence you to prison for murdering him for the rest of your natural life.
That was Judge Newman sentencing Alex Murdaugh after the case, and it was a real sentencing. And you know, sometimes judges just throw out numbers, go through the motions. Not Judge Newman. That's not the way he holds court. And you know, he took time and everything else. But Judge Newman appeared this morning on NBC's The Today Show. Let's watch.
Do you think that he'll be haunted by his wife and son?
No, I think so. It has to be. I cannot imagine him having a peaceful night knowing what he did. I felt sorry for him. I wanted to give him an opportunity to say something.
And that's taken a lot of people back. He felt sorry for Alex Murdaugh, the double murderer, the killer. I want to play you some of the back and forth between Judge Newman and Alex Murdaugh during the sentencing. Might give you a little more perspective for why he would say, hey, I feel sorry for Alex Murdaugh, the double killer. Take a look.
And I know you have to see Paul and Maggie during the night times when you're attempting to go to sleep. I'm sure they come and visit you. I'm sure.
All day and every night.
Yeah, I'm sure. And they will continue to do so. And reflect on the last time they looked you in the eyes, as you looked the jury in the eyes. I don't know person who's always been such a gregarious, friendly person and cause their life to be tangled in such a weave web, such a situation that yours have spun into. And it's so unfortunate because you had such a lovely family of such friendly people, including you, and to go from that to this. You know, your license to practice law has been stripped away from you. You turned from lawyer to witness, and now have an opportunity to make your final appeal as an ex-lawyer. And it's almost, it's really surprising that you're waiving this right at this time. And if you opt to do so, it's on you. You're not compelled to say anything. But you have the opportunity to do so.
Judge, I tell you again, I respect this court, but I'm innocent. I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my son, Paul.
Judge Newman, I mean, extremely thoughtful, but, you know, from my perspective, I can't feel sorry for Alex Murdaugh in any sort of respect. I mean, this is a man who lied and cheated and harmed a lot of people and then blew his son's brains out, like right next to him with a shotgun, and then hunted down his wife and the mother of his surviving son. So I could never utter those words. Judge Newman did. I want to get some reaction tonight from our think tank. Franz Bogart is with us, Molly Palmer, Josh Schiffer. Ladies first. Sorry, Josh.
Well, I mean, I think that empathy always has a place in our system. I understand that perhaps you and many people can't get there, but I think it's something that especially those of us in criminal defense always tap into. And one thing that Judge Newman spoke about, I think very artfully in that interview, was that the person he was sentencing, he didn't believe to be the same person who at one time was a prominent lawyer, who at one time was a family man. He referenced his addiction. He referenced the quantity of drugs he believed that he had been under for so long. And I think the empathy that he talks about stems from him understanding that somebody at their absolute worst point is not that person entirely. And I think that's the type of perspective we want on the bench.
And there is no product of creation that is beyond redemption, that is pure evil. And these are two gentlemen that knew each other and their families knew each other. This is a small community. They were intimately familiar with each other's practices.
There was no acceptance of responsibility.
There
was no acceptance of responsibility.
Because Mr. Murdaugh is going to go down in history protesting his innocence the entire time. And
Which is
we
why I
can
don't feel bad
disagree
for
with
him.
it.
The problem is that judge, who is an experienced judge, knows that Murdaugh is going to do an appeal. It is often common in state and federal court after the trial, at sentencing, while there is going to be an appeal, for the defendant not to do a colloquy, for the defendant to maintain their innocence. What did he expect him to do? Say, well, okay, judge, even though I'm going to appeal this, I really did do this and I'm guilty. I thought the judge on NBC was absolutely disingenuous. I don't think he feels sorry for Murdaugh at all. The entire sentencing was him throwing salt in every single wound. He's putting him in a way for life. Like, talking about this, talking about that, and like talking about how he must be seeing the deceased. I just don't see that he's really feeling sorry for him. And so, and maybe, Vinny, maybe it's just, I don't like trial judges doing interviews on NBC while the matter isn't yet even on appeal. I don't feel bad for Murdaugh at all. I just don't like what was going on there.
I'll say that it's questionable for a judge to have an interview on such national television while something's so fresh and still under appeal. But I'll completely disagree.
Well, there were things he didn't go into because he couldn't.
Exactly.
So,
but I believe that was the most genuine human connection and authentic moment from the entire trial, because that was Judge Newman opening up about his own personal disappointments because of the love and respect he knows the Murdaugh family has had for the court system, despite their many crimes and problems and errors and evils. There was still a connection about our system of justice that they'd worked in for decades.
Do you think that Murdaugh sitting there doesn't realize he's never getting out of prison? Because it's not just this case. Even if this gets appealed, the financial crimes and everything else are putting him behind bars for all these. He's not getting out.
I think when your life devolves to that point, the only thing you hold on to is this like inner narrative that may be so far removed from reality, but it's the only thing that keeps you going. I think we find clients that fall into this.
How about like talking about redemption? How about acknowledging what you did? How about asking for forgiveness? Maybe finding God, maybe something along those lines, rather than holding out for my attorneys to find some little technicality so I can get a new trial and get convicted again.
Are you suggesting that had he said, Judge, you're right, I did it.
Yes.
I did it, you would feel better about Murdaugh? Because I don't think you would. I think you would feel the same way about Murdaugh sitting here. The only difference would be he would have just torpedoed his own appeal, which we might all be okay with, but
it would be even more aggravating to know that he'd wasted all that time and effort by having a trial and destroying all these people's lives if he was so free to admit it. You're not going to get some sort of mea culpa at the, you guys finally got me. Yeah. No, that's not the way that works. Maybe on TV.